Welcome everyone to our first official Superfood superhero training and the knowingness of what we are up to here on this path with Purium. And today I wanted to start out with reading a couple little pieces of one of my brand partners, his name is Nick Good, and him and David Wolf wrote a book called Amazing Grace: The 9 Principles of Living in Natural Magic. And I love it. I wanted to just be able to come here and bring the tools. Like, this is like the first step, it's like the first step is ordering your superfoods, and then you get it into you, and then you really become activated as this superfood mentor and as this person that you're like, whoa, and you just keep up leveling with your self-care practices and all of it. And that's what I wish to offer in these calls throughout the time, is being able to see, like, how am I like bringing all these superfoods in my day with me? How am I like keeping my energy throughout the day? What am I doing? And we just got a question in the notes, is that David Avocado Wolf? It is. This book is him and Nick Good. David Avocado and I met years ago, and I went to Peru with him in 2009 for 10 days, and I ran around Machu Picchu with a bunch of good stuff in me with him and a few other people. And so I know David well, and that's what started me on this path of being a superfood raw food person for many years. And then I wasn't as healthy as I was right now when I was a raw foodist 3 years ago, but it was just the beginning of like being able to know how to take care of myself with this food, which is what all of you are doing. No matter how healthy you used to eat, if you can tap into this superfood, superhero system of like Purium all day long. Yes, absolutely, like nutrition and food and chewable things. But if you guys can come into just this strength, so an ability to have self-care, to be able to be present to our business, to our babies, to all the things that we're wishing for. And, just as we become these superfood mentors to our customers, and then superfood mentors, and then business mentors to our builders that come in, and they see the value of the superfoods activating them, and you're like, okay, now I'm going to become your superfood mentor, but business side of it. So I wanted to read a couple little moments from this book because it is so perfect for what we're doing. And this book is coming to everyone in the team. It's just some books are there and some are still on order. So you are being called. So this is the moment that we have been waiting for. And you have spent your entire existence preparing for this incredible time. Inside, you always have known that you possess something grand, something extraordinary. Upon reflection, the planetary crisis is really a crisis that is motivating you to tap into this inner potential of your spirit and your soul. The moment draws near. Step into your destiny. It is time to turn yourself on to the amazing grace. Gina's coming in. To the amazing grace and the 9 principles of living in natural magic. Hello, Miss Gina. We're so happy to have you. So I'm just reading a couple of little lines out of this book that my new builder, Nick Good, and then David Avocado Wolf, who has been on the leading edge of superfood and superfoods, which is how I even came into this reality with all of you. Like, if I didn't start doing superfoods back in the day with David Wolf and Gabriel Cousins and all of it, and Nick Good read this book 15 years ago, and literally this book is written for our team. It is like calling out the superheroes. It's here on every single level. And let's see. spirituality and technology are intimately intertwined. And I just wanted to read like 2 little verses on here. The way some individuals have been living their lives, feeding their biology and orienting their attitudes, values, and beliefs and awareness has created extraordinary synchronicity, prosperity, joy, magic, harmony, laughter, love, health, and grace. I mean, again, that's just 100% what Purium is offering, what we get to do. Thank you so much for coming, Peter and Natalie and children and baby. Just reading a little bit of this amazing grace. Nick Good, our builder that's on our team, and David Avocado Wolf wrote this almost 10 years ago. I don't even know. And the other piece is the way some individuals have been living their lives, feeding their biology and orientating their attitudes, values, and beliefs and awareness has created an extraordinary disease, destruction, hate, famine, war, anger, frustration, doubt, despair, and materialism. So I just, I always just ask my guides, like, bring me to the part of the book that would be the best for them. And so that's what I was just gifted for us to know. And it's just absolutely amazing to think there's 2 parts. Like it talks about that with the wolf. You can feed the one side and what will you get, and feed the other, what side will you get? So this is what we're doing. We are feeding ourselves and our biology, and really, with like the alchemy that we get to have on this team, and the superfoods, and the ability to cleanse and detoxify and nourish. And then that's this whole piece of like, when people are like, oh, how do you get these sales? It's like, we have to become the food itself. So John is coming in now. So the more we become these amazing superfoods, the more we are able to have this trust that we can guide other people into this reality, and they can follow our lead. And we can, like, it's amazing that Purium actually allows us to just become the greatest versions of ourselves through this food. And if we can really flow this food in our lives with ease and grace, and if you have to eat other things, like, no worries, like it's not about being hard on ourselves in any way. We will keep up leveling in that spiral staircase, just having more and more ability to feel the outcome of these superfoods and then be able to share it with every single person. So I wanted to, let's see, we'll wait for John to come in all the way. Hello, John, just here. I'm sharing this with everybody that I just read through a little bit of Amazing Grace. And you missed a little bit, but I'm excited to share with you that we're on the side of where this book talks about. Again, this is Nick Good, David Avocado Wolf. The people like David Avocado Wolf is the reason why I've been into superfoods for the last 15 plus years. And so I just think it's amazing, super synchronistic that we now have Nick Good, who is his right-hand man, writing this book. The book was literally written for us. Learn to become a superhero and have the best day ever. I mean, it's basically what we get to do every single day. And I love that it even has a chapter in it about Ormus. And so perfect timing for John to be on. I know some of you have your alchemy and some of you don't, but we can actually, Michael will feel all of ours through osmosis for sure. But the piece with the alchemy, I just wanted to see if there was something that I wanted to really share with us, but I just think it's amazing that every single piece that we're up to, I mean, it's going to talk about the living foods. It's going to talk about alchemy, imagination. That's what I want to read you all. So alchemy, imagination, the depth and awe of the mystery can be felt at any time in the power of our imagination. Our imagination is the great wonder of our species. All transformation occurs first in the realm of imagination. Every invitation and every creative contribution has first been a vision, of an imaginative dreaming. And the grandeur of our imagination expresses itself most fruitfully in the high wonder and spirit of aloha consciousness. Our imagination, and aloha is breath, right? Our imagination is the idle field of the activity to lead us back to paradise and the truer understanding of the dynamic beauty and the science of reality. Our imagination is our vision, and it defines our feelings, experience, organic interface with with matter, ormus or mana, and elements mixed with our soul. And the imagination is always available to you, to each of you, and every moment of your entire life. So, I mean, just absolutely incredible. And that is how you do this work. That's how you sell a lot of product. That's how you bring in more magical people, is like, we just keep doing this work of self-care and self-love. And yes, it's about numbers, and yes, it's about reaching out to people, but it's about getting into alignment with ourselves so much that we just emanate this energy from all the little magical potions that we're putting in us all day long. And it'll just seep from your being, that people will be like, what do you have? What's going on? You know, people will just call you. Soon you'll have people on your team, and you'll wake up and there'll be orders just placed, like $600, $700 orders. But I'm here to help you like lay out the foundation, that I just pray that this, you know, activation that we're all in, that whatever's happening with this, like this portal, like whatever I've been able to do somehow, like be able to feed this many people and come up with these really beautiful options for the food and all of it. And I'm just so thankful, like Gina and Sierra have utilized me so often, like with their people. And that's all I wish for, is to be on enough calls where everybody just kind of hears what happens. It's like this channeled flow of listening to the person speak about, you know, when you have a client on the phone with you, you ask them about their lives and their bodies and like what they're up to, and start to fine tune your hearing about where the illness is coming in, where the blocks of food that they're putting in, where the lack of water is, and then you just start seeing clearly why they're in pain and what is going on. And then it's like, okay, so you know, you just get to have this amazing goodness. So the other piece I wanted to share is like, hi, Dominic. Will you say hi so you can come on camera?
Are you talking to me? Oh, yeah. Say hi, Dominic.
I just want him to be on camera for a second.
Hi to all of our friends, our soul family. Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
He's rolling out the currants and the spray.
He has the smudge mist. We got our currants, our origin, all our alchemies. So yeah.
This is so what it's all about. Like, I saged the room before our call, and I just wish for everyone to see what we're doing as like sacred ceremony every single day. You wake up, you have your alchemy next to your bed, you say your intentions, you call out to your guides, start tuning in and asking, who is your Purium guide? Who is your business Purium guide? Her name is Pearl. She wants me to do things different and like take it easy, kind of, or like not work smarter. And so that's what we're doing today. Like, we're working smarter. And you know, there's nothing more important to me than building one-on-one relationships with all of you, which is what I've been able to do, and I always will, with every single person that comes into this team. And to have everyone together knowing that we're all here. And this to me felt like the foundation of how to be the superfood superhero and come into this knowing of like what are the first couple steps. Okay, the first couple steps obviously are getting yourself totally dialed with the superfoods, and that will just keep like spiraling up that spiral staircase, because like the ladies that are nursing, you do all the things that you can do, but there's going to be other things, and then you're going to be able to put that in your practice. And hopefully our beautiful practice with ourselves, there's very few things that like if I take, somebody else can't take. I mean, it happens, but we can guide people with the way that we're utilizing this and really see ourselves as these life coaches, totally owning like, we are a coach. We're a coach. We're coaching people into this lifestyle. And then I wanted to go over our human design, because that to me is the kingpin of at least our woo-woo team's belief systems. And it might not be for everyone, and that's totally fine. But the people that do resonate with it, it's a fascinating practice, and it takes years of fine-tuning your own understanding of what it feels like in your body when specific things happen over and over and over again. And it's like, oh, it's like mixing up a drink and knowing, oh, that flavor is appleberry in there. Oh, but I can taste the cocoa hydrate pineapple in there, and I can taste the little tiny flavor of biofruit. And to me, that's what human design is kind of like. It's like, oh, that person has a full heart. I can feel that. Oh, that person has an open emotional center. That's why this is so easy. Oh, that person's throat is full and mine is undefined. And we're like running into conversation. It's like you start fine-tuning your own your own design, and you will start to understand how to like fold working Purium and sharing Purium with your human design strategy. And so I asked John if he wanted to come on and talk about the 5 types strategies. So if you all know, projectors, projector, and I'm just going to say it in my way that I've been shared with for years now. It's been over 15 years that I've been loving human design. But I'm not as studied as everybody else. I'm just studied in my body around it. But projectors are like the crowd, like thinking about baseball, sorry. The projectors are the crowd. So they're the community. And John can totally fine tune any of this too. But the generators are the guys in the outfield running around, getting the ball back to everybody. And the manifestors are the pitchers. They just get to do whatever, like throw it out there, and it's all going to just like manifest in front. Oh, baby Ocean just came up with us. Hi. And then manifesting generators are the batters, and the manifesting generator projector. Oh, and the projector, the reflectors are the crowd.
Right.
And the projector is the coach. Pardon me. I didn't mean to say that. So, and the projector is here to be sitting on the lotus flower, having everybody come to them. So you all just like skipping through the tulips and drinking your superfoods and have people be like, oh, what are you doing? You look amazing. That looks like fun. Can you talk to me about this amazing thing? So anyway, I wanted to have John really roll out the red carpet on this idea of if we can marry our strategy as human design and Purium, I do believe it's going to be a lot more of an easeful inhale and exhale. And luckily, there's no pressure with me having anybody do anything. I do love the knowing that we're setting people up for duplicatable systems, but you're never going to hear me be like, you better get your stuff in this week. It's like flow with yourself and see what's possible, see what you can bring in. So John, thank you for sharing your knowledge, please.
Well, thanks, Kim. I like that analogy a lot. And I was like, the projectors are the crowd? What does that mean? So first of all, I just want to share with everybody no matter how much experience you have, that what human design describes is the energy system that is the vehicle of our awareness. So the energy system flows in a particular way, and the energy that flows through that system is going to interact with the world in a particular way. And those particular ways are, I think Kimberly did an excellent job of describing the different levels in a baseball game. The generators are the players in the field. The manifester is the pitcher throwing the pitch. The manifesting generator is the batter who's going to respond to the pitch in a quick moment and makes things happen. And the coach is the projector who's giving the information to all the guys in the field, and even the guy at bat, telling them basically what to do. Here's what you got to do in this situation. And then, of course, the reflectors are the audience who is taking it all in and responding based on what happens in the field. Okay, so what these energy systems describe is a pathway for us to respond to the environment. Well, respond is kind of maybe to use our energy in the world in a way that matches with the way that we are built. And that means to take action in harmony with ourself. Okay, this is a human design term. When we act around the world using our energy in a way that doesn't match the design, the flow of the way energy comes through us, then we're taking action in resonance with what is termed not self in human design. And usually when we're acting in a place of not self, what it means is that we're going to run into obstacles. The environment is not going to support us, and we're just going to kind of struggle with our intention, making our intention come into reality. So, first of all, how many of you have been, and you can, give a hand if you want, how many of you have been looking at human design how many of you are brand new to human design? Okay, sort of. How many of you are familiar with it for 3 months or more? Josh, okay, perfect, beautiful. So what I'd like to do is just share with you what the different types are. I mean, Kimberly shared the types, just reflected back again. And then what is the strategy that we can use in the world so that our energy is flowing in harmony with the collective? Because that's what it's really all about, is our activity benefiting both us and the collective, or the other as it exists in the world. And when we do that, then there's mutual benefit that happens, like sort of magically. And that's one of the beautiful things about Purium, human design, and the alchemies all working together, because all three of these things are helping us move into this flow of harmony. So first of all, how many of you are generators? All right, Josh and Kim. How many of you are manifestors? Okay, we got a manifester. How many of you are manifesting generators? Okay, one and me. How many of you are projectors? 2 projectors, and I don't know what Barbara is. Okay, beautiful. So, Josh and Kim, you're the generators. Josh, I have a feeling you probably already know this, but it will give a little bit of context to everyone else about what's happening in the energy system. The strategy for a generator is to wait to respond. And what does that mean? what it means is that we come into an environment as a generator and we have an experience of the environment. It might be a person, it might be a place, it might be an opportunity. And that experience gets translated through our energy system into a feeling of, this is for me, or that's not for me. And a lot of times, that comes through a particular area in our body that is deep in our gut. And we can often connect with that. Okay. So when we follow that essential strategy to say like, okay, I'm taking in an experience and I'm going to wait for my body to respond to it until I get a yes or a no experience, or it's really more of a sound experience of like this is something I want, or a sound experience of that's not something I want. And when we follow that strategy, oftentimes the activity that we're going to take is going to flow in harmony with the collective, and it will allow us to receive the support from that collective that we need to achieve our intention. Now, it's worth noting here that what I'm describing is called a sacral authority, when you have this deep sound inside you. So, Josh, do you know if you have a defined or an undefined emotional center? Not sure? Not sure. Yeah. So that'll be a piece of information that will be useful for you to look into, because rather than, if you're an emotional authority, rather than having a direct immediate or a direct immediate you're going to have an emotional wave that happens. And on parts of that wave, you're going to be thinking, this is a good idea. And on other parts of the wave, you're going to be thinking, this is not a good idea. And you have to wait for that whole wave to process before you can come to a decision that's right for your entire self, that's in harmony with everything. Okay. So does that make sense, Josh?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear you. You're breaking up a little bit there.
Oh, sorry. That was a yes. That makes sense.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so manifesting generators. Michael, that's you and me in this group, and maybe Barbara. I'm not sure what Barbara is, but we have what's connected. We are, Barbara, do you want to tell us what your type is? Oh, you're muted.
Yes, I can. Hold on one second because I put it in my pictures. I'm a projector.
Okay, beautiful. So you are with Allison and Sierra.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Okay, so Michael, you and I are the manifesting generators. What that means is that we also have a response of and because we are essentially generators, but we have an energy channel that also connects to our throat. And that allows us to take that life force energy from deep in our body and turn it into a manifestation. So one of the things that we will often do that other people might watch us do and go like, how the hell did they do that? We're going to skip some steps. And so that's a thing for us to be aware of, particularly in Purium, if we're guiding other people into a lifestyle change, or we're guiding them to become brand partners, is that we have to remember not to skip steps, because we're going to take our life force energy and instantly turn it into a manifestation. It's like, I connected to this brand partner. I'm going to instantly transform them into a functional brand partner. And that is probably not what their experience is going to be. And then we'll be surprised when they do something random. We're like, wait a minute, why are they doing this thing? I don't get it at all. It's because we skipped steps. Okay. So the manifesting generator strategy is still to wait to respond, but it's a little bit more nuanced. And so the strategy for us involves both the strategies for generators and manifestors. And so our strategy is to respond and then form an idea, a vision of what it is that we wish to create, reprocess that whole experience. Now that we've formed a vision, we need to experience our response to our own vision and make sure that everything is moving together. Then we need to inform all of the people about what our next action is going to be. And then we can take action. So if you've ever acted without telling someone what you were going to do, and then they responded to you in an angry way, it's because of that, because we missed the step of informing people that we were going to impact with our manifestation. Does that make sense? Awesome. And I wanted to talk a little bit about how do we use these with Purium and everything. And Kimberly, maybe you can jump in with that a little bit in a minute, but I just wanted to get through all these so we get them clear. So Gina, you're our manifester, which is a really awesome and unique energy to have in some ways. Generators in general are 70% of the population. The number of manifestors is much, much lower. Something around 8% of human beings are manifestors. So we don't need very many as a collective because your gift is so powerful. You have a different strategy than generators. You do not have to wait to respond to anything. You can simply become aware of what it is your intention is, and you can speak it into reality. And if you do that, all of the generators will hear you and go, mm-hmm, or mm-mm. And they will all like reorganize themselves and come around you and say, mm-hmm, we're doing this with Gina, right? So that's one of the primary ways that manifestors can function in the collective is you kind of get to be the bossy pants to some extent, except it's in a way of sharing your vision rather than telling people what to do. Does that make sense? So your strategy as a manifester is to inform people before you take action. So like this is very important in family structures, social structures. When you're going to take action around something, you need to tell the people what you're going to do. When you don't tell people what you're going to do, you're going to literally create a new reality that they are not prepared for. And when they experience that without you having told them that you are going to do that, they take that as an affront to their own reality. Meaning, I didn't sign up for this reality. Gina just went ahead and like started creating stuff, and now I'm pissed. And that's why a lot of times manifestors will experience the anger of others a lot more frequently than most other people do, and can have a tendency to feel like, why is the world angry with me? I'm just being myself. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not doing anything against anyone, right? And when you have those beautiful intentions, it's so important for you to practice sharing those beautiful intentions as much as you possibly can. And when you do that, the other people who receive that, they get to go like, oh, Gina has beautiful intentions. I'm so happy to be a part of that. And they will make room for your new creation in their lives. Speaking mostly about generators here, of course, which is most everybody, right? Does that make sense?
Yes, and that totally resonates with me because yes, I do that all the
Beautiful.
time with my family, and it's like, okay, just inform them because they're like, what are we doing? And yeah, so thank you. This is amazing.
Yes. And I'm
Understand.
sorry I added the bossy pants in there. That's for the projectors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries.
Bossy
Thank
pants is
you.
for projectors. You get to lovingly share with people your intentions all the time. And people will, like, when you do that, it's magic what happens, because generators, when they create something, they get to respond and they just work like they just step by step by step by step. Gina, you are a quantum leaper. You get to be in one place and you lovingly share with all the people your intentions, and all of a sudden you're in a brand new place across the world, just like the alchemies do, which is amazing that you already tapped into, oh, my business name has alchemy in it and all of this stuff, because that's what is happening with it. It's manifestation. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I think I've shied away from sharing my intentions and my visions, maybe because of all the anger that I've experienced. And so I've kind of like, cocooned myself like in a protection way. And
Yeah.
now I know like it's time to just share and so this has been
Yes.
really, really enlightening for me to hear it coming from you. Thank you.
Yes. And especially when you inform and then take action, because when you inform people, they're going to be waiting for the change.
Mhm.
And so as you step into that activity, they'll get to experience what that change that you informed them about is going to be. And they'll get to respond to it, support it. And some may say, I don't want to support that, or that's not for me. But that's okay. They won't project onto you something about that necessarily. They'll just kind of like fade out into their own pathway. So it is safe for you to do that process.
Mhm.
And you may experience shifts that happen because of it. But usually, depending on other factors, you're not going to get blamed for it, So that and that is very common for manifestors, particularly as children. Manifestors as children are very challenging to parent,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
most humans don't have there's only 8% of humans who are manifestors. So you don't act like other children.
Yeah.
You don't do things like other children. And
Yeah.
most parents have no idea how to support that process. Not to mention the language barrier that happens when you're a small child. Oftentimes you just get punished for manifesting flat out, right? And that's not very supportive. So beautiful, beautiful process though. Okay, so projectors, that's Barbara, Sierra, and Allison. Projectors is a very, very powerful energy. And as I said before, the tendency of projectors is to put on the bossy pants. But the strategy for a projector is to wait to be invited. Okay. So what that means is that you have this power to project an image onto other people's experiences that they can respond to. So in terms of Purium, you can project into another person's space. This is what it looks like to be a thriving mom on superfoods. right? However, if you attempt to initiate, this is what manifestors do, they are initiators. If you attempt to initiate the connection between yourself and the other moms who you see who aren't thriving and they are struggling, if you try to initiate, hey, you should really look at these superfoods, hey, look at how great I'm doing with everything, in a direct way of saying, look at how great I'm doing and how you can change your life, most people are gonna go like, ugh, I don't want that energy in my space. It's too powerful. And it's not that it's not good for them. It's that their energy system literally can't handle the strength of your vision. That is why your strategy is to wait to be invited. So one of the things that projectors can do is you can live your life, and you can invite people into your life, for instance, by making videos and things like that, and putting out things that you're like, this is my experience and this is my vision for the world. And if you wait for the ones who come to you and say, wow, that sounds great, then you're going to have an extraordinarily large impact on those people compared to pretty much anyone else that all of the other types. Because once they've invited you, now they're inviting your vision into their energetic space. And so you kind of can run with that. Like, you are the people who, when you're sharing about Purium and you have said, I'm doing all of these things and all of these things are available, I want to invite asking you to mold their pathway. And so you actually get to use your energy in a way to say, this is the pathway that I want you to take. I want you to take a ULT. I want you to get the chlorella tablets and the ionic elements and the B energetic to support your adrenals. And they'll go, okay. They may not have access to the resources to be able to do that, but they will want to do it because they've already invited your vision. Okay. So once you receive that invitation, then you get to run. You get to just with your vision. If you go with your vision before you've been invited, they will put their hands up, they will ghost you, they will resist like in any way they can. And so there is a little bit of a trickiness in terms of educating people about what it is you're doing while also waiting for the invitation. And this really comes up with all of the types. You know, generators are supposed to wait to respond instead of like creating things. Manifestors are supposed to inform before taking action. You know, reflectors are a whole different deal, and thank goodness in a way we don't have any reflectors here, because I don't know what to tell them, because their strategy is to wait for 28 days. They have to wait an entire moon cycle before taking action on something, if they're going to act in harmony with both themselves and the collective. So most of us have a much easier strategy to follow, which I think is wonderful. Okay. So hopefully that gives you all a good sense of like what it is about this strategy. And I want to share with you that there might be questions that pop up if you are allowing this to come into your awareness. Like if you're a generator, you're going to go, wait a minute, am I responding to this or did I initiate something? Because there's nuances to these movements of energy. When you, as a generator, when you see a Facebook profile and you're like, huh, there's a person who looks like they might be interested in my thing. Now, if you reach out to them and you're like, you share with them something that carries an intention of a manifestation, like they're going to change their life to do Purium, you're probably going to get zero response. But if you reach out to them and you go, hey, I saw you're really interested in nutrition, because they've got all this stuff on their feed, and I just wanted to encourage you on that pathway and share with you that I'm in the same field and I'm working with people to move into optimal health. That's a form of responsiveness. And hopefully that makes a little bit of sense, you know. Manifesting generators, we have a little bit of a slightly different field in there. And because we have that, we need to inform people before we take action portion. We have a similar thing as what I just described with the generators, but the informing part is we need to be very, very present on social media, putting out messages about what it is that we are intending to do. So if we like post stuff about Purium and say how great it is, but we don't express that our intention is to transform your life through this process, we're going to run into trouble, if that makes sense. So manifestors, you just get to inform, and then take action. So you get to jump on social media and say things like, my intention is to transform the entire field of mothering, you know, and say, look, if I want to introduce you to these superfoods to show you how you can thrive in the same way that I have been. And then when you reach out to somebody who's experienced that from you, they'll understand why and what you're there to create with them. And they can respond to that if they're generators, or they can experience it as a projector, as saying, ooh, I've been invited, you know, right? So those are some of the things there. And then for the projectors, you have some nuanced work to achieve in terms of sharing your message. But just remember that as you're sharing your message, what you want to share is the clarity of your vision. If you can share about the clarity of your vision in a general way, you know, Allison, when I think of you, what comes to mind is you're in nutrition school. You're still in, right? So you're in nutrition school. So obviously nutrition school is, Purium isn't the only thing. Your vision is bigger than just Purium. And when you can share about that bigger vision, you'll have people that will pop up and go like, Allison, can I learn more? That's the best thing for you to hear. And so when you share your vision, you want to remember that you don't want to necessarily fully educate everyone with every detail. Because if you fully educate everyone with every detail, they're going to experience that projection coming into their awareness to some extent. But if you hold back details while you're sharing your overall vision about what could be, then you're going to be, without saying it, inviting people to go, Allison, I've got to hear more about what you were sharing. And once you get that, that is an invitation, and then you can do all the things. You can fully educate, you can all of it, everything that you feel moved that you want to do. And in that way, you'll be acting in harmony with yourself and with the collective, is what I mean to say. Because you can, of course, make any choice at any point. It's just that harmony portion can trip us up. I think that's all I got, Kim.
That is everything, John. Thank you so much. This is to me, again, this is like step one. You want to be like supported on this lifestyle journey. There's so many different tips and tricks and tools, and just this for us to be sharing with all of our new builders. First of all, welcome. If this is the first time you're watching this replay, this is the kingpin of what most people that are attracted to this team totally resonate with, and that is a pure miracle. I will, be in pure awe and amazement of synchronicities that keep coming. So I'm so excited to have this. We can all watch it again and to be able to really fine tune ourselves. And you'll start, for how clean we're keeping our bodies, we'll be able to just keep calling in the knowingness of what it feels like, that fine-tuned feeling of like, when I'm in alignment, when I'm grasping, when I'm in my not self theme, and just being really present to what feels right. I mean, there's been times where some of the other builders have said, like, they might be on some of the training calls and stuff, and it feels bad. Like sometimes you feel like I've felt like I'm never enough, like all this stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, let's really make sure, are we living our strategy? Because that's really the only thing that matters. Yes, it's going to be a numbers game. Yes, it's going to be all these things that they say out there in regular network marketing school, but it's like, really, it's all about alignment. It's all about calling in the magic that we are. It's about calling out with the alchemies every single day. It's about tuning into our guides and our higher selves, and tuning into people's way of wishing to be supported by all of us. We all are going to find the people that we resonate with the very most. And this is just such a blessing. So I just thank you all for your time. What a perfect way to end. And I've ordered as many as the company had and sent them out to everyone. So I hope that you're getting them. And then I bought all of them from this one place, and they were like, there's no more. So they'll get another shipment in. It's just this really great website that has them for not a ton of money. So I'm just kind of waiting for like the next phase, but amazing grace. So we close out this amazing portal of ceremony and just sending you all blessings, and knowing that this is a sacred ceremony that you're all investing your lives in. And we get to watch these babies grow up in front of us, and they're having this alchemy run through them, through the moms. They're having the superfoods, and really like going out there with all of your strategies now, the knowingness of how to engage with people, and then honing in the skills. And these calls on Wednesdays will keep sharing little skills and tips and tricks, and then the things that John was talking about of like, we have our action plan worksheet and we have your why, but now it's like, work on creating your vision, right? We can start doing that. And that could even be, it's like, okay, so what is our why, but what is our vision, and what is that piece? And then with what he was talking about too, of how we strategize once I have somebody come in. And I've really learned with my being a generator and an open emotional, and that I'm supposed to come in and respond to the people. And so what I've noticed that feels really fairly amazing is either, first of all, someone like Michael just reaches out and says, show me more about that. And then it's just like that. But the other people that have come in, what it feels, and I've also said this, I'm going to cut myself off and say this, that being a generator feels like you're supposed to just sit at the bus stop because the bus is coming at 1 o'clock, but you feel so much that you should just run around town and see if you can find the bus, because you have like 5 minutes. You have like 5 minutes. You could totally be like running around trying to find the bus, and then you're going to miss the bus. But you could have just sat at the bus stop and maybe taken a breath and waited for the invitation of the bus driver coming up and saying, would you like to hop on the bus? You don't even have to pay the price, you know, and actually it's a magic bus and we don't even drive into this world. And so if we can just work with the pressure that happens every once in a while, I mean, my head and my root, I have a pressure sandwich to get things done and all this stuff. And then you like work with the outside way of people doing network marketing and it's like, and you're like, oh, well, it's not working. Maybe I should try harder for running for the bus. So no. And so making these amazing strategies, like finding your strategies. I'd love to help everybody make a digital business card that can like hold another container for you. You can just present yourself in all these beautiful ways. And how we take action. Like there's so many cool things that were said. And I'm excited for this time to be with you all on Wednesdays, because I know a lot of the things that we can share too down the road, because the Tuesday night training is on Tuesday night, right? But then here we are on Wednesday. And so every time that John and I talk about the calls the day before, or like the day after, we're like, oh, we could fine tune it and have it be like delivered the wellness warrior style, you know? And so I'm just really excited for everyone. And I send you so many blessings and appreciation. And thank you for your time. And we'll see you next Wednesday. And so many blessings. Thank you for this opportunity to download with us. And thank you to all our guides and angels. Blessings.
I welcome love.